Cool, I think that worked. Welcome back! Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of ESP Enchanting Sorcery Productions presents The Stormwatch, featuring MCDM, the Kingdoms in Warfare. Hi, babe. I'm your host, Essie, or Aaron Spencer. My pronouns are she, her, and we've got a lot going on. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce the rest of this amazing, incredible staff sitting around the table with me today. Cast members. Hi, everybody. Let's go clockwise, starting with Ange. Hi, Ange. Hello. Who are you, and who do you play in our Stormwatch campaign?
I'm Ange, pronouns she, her.
I can hear you now. All right.
Here in Stormwatch, I am famous, the Oath of Redemption Paladin, defender of the universe, and all that it might bring, pronouns she, they.
Awesome. Thank you, Ange. And we have Nick at Emberthist. Hello. Who are you, and who do you play in our Stormwatch campaign?
Hi, Amberthist, 16th month subscriber. I'm going to be playing, well, I am a person. I am a he-him person. And I am playing a he-him bunny, Clematis Scamperpaw, the Barbarian, Sorcerer Herringon, Wild Magic for all of those. And yeah, just here to use a little bit of chaos magic to hopefully reclaim all things Drow.
Awesome. Thank you, Nick. I think I have... there we go. Okay. Are those the right links? Or are we missing one?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, awesome. Also, I love the shades.
Oh, thank you.
Of course, of course.
I got them from a very fancy place called Walmart, and they were for a character, and I have been enjoying them ever since.
Awesome. Well, we have lots of stuff going on. We have a pretty awesome ruby blanket. We have the shades, and of course, moving around the table with the holiday sweater, we have the one and only D. Hi, D. Who are you, and who do you play in our Stormwatch campaign? You.
Yeah, I'm D. As I was telling everyone earlier, this chilly weather has got me feeling festive, so, just decided to put on my sweater for today. I am playing Abigail Willowshire, and just like her, I also use she, her.
Awesome. Thank you, Dia. And as always, the links to our respective cast members are in the chat. You can go and check out all of their links and go say hello to them on the other socials. And I don't know if you have a gimmick. I guess I got my leather jacket, but Jeff, I don't know if you got props, but going back to Jeff, hello, who are you, and who are you playing in our Stormwatch campaign?
No props, really. Best I got is my hoodie, because it is a little chilly around here, too, but not too bad. Good evening, I'm Jeff, and this evening I am going to be playing Simeon, who is a Battlemaster fighter, but not the way you think. And both my pronouns and Simeon's pronouns are he, him.
Awesome. Thank you. I am just going to check my filters. Make sure everything is still here. Cool. All right. I think we're looking good. Oh, you know what would be important? Let's pull up the Roll20, because there's some cool maps going on. Make that visible. Roll20. There we go. Yeah. All right. So for a DM inspiration, who wants to, or a luck point, who wants to go ahead and give us a little recap as to what happened last time? This is the start of Series 3. Last session was our Series 3 launch as we shifted back into the Forgotten Realms. But for the most part, everything, including the foray into the Fey realm, is all canon, because as they should, the Feywild and other realms usually tend to connect between all worlds in the material plane. Kind of like a... not even a multiverse of madness, just like a universe type of thing. And within that, of course, with Planescape, there are many, but he wants to give us a little recap as to kind of what happened last time and or the story so far.
I think I can give a recap this time.
All
I
right,
vaguely
awesome.
remember what we were doing.
Yeah.
So last session, we woke up in the Underdark and started to make the plans for the invasion of Shadowdale. And basically, the idea was that the army is right behind us on the road, but they're kind of hard to hide. But we need to be able to sneak in and get the Matrons of House Dhuurniv into the tower, where they can break the enchantments that are currently not necessarily protecting the town, but definitely making it more of a problem to assault. So we are going to break in and do that sneaky wise. Managed to break in and found a gallows erected in the middle of town with some spies hanging from it. So that was a bit concerning. And it was also pretty heavily guarded, which means the army was on the Red Plumes rather were on edge and were expecting trouble of some form, but they weren't expecting the trouble we brought them, because the matrons let loose with their hatred and revenge, and the Stormwatch was also there. There was quite a bit of flashy magical power coming out of the matrons, but we were able to pretty much blow through all of the resistance in like 3 turns. So we made it through really quick, much with the help of the matrons. So I believe we are starting like at the beginning of at the top of round 4 in media res, with fireballs flying about and the Red Plumes on not just the back foot, but like the 3 steps back foot, because they were not expecting as much as we brought.
Right.
All right.
So as the player was not here, where was Thamus in this battle?
Off with Terra on the flanks, sort of securing the flanks.
Mhm.
So
All right.
I'm going to switch over to the UI. The UI redesign. Safe to say that you can resume and rendezvous back with the Stormwatch. And I'm going to bring Terra along with y'all and see if you want to take control of Terra again.
Sure.
And here we have, I haven't started my new job yet. So I opted for the watermark because these are $40 prints. But should you have the money, these are excellent prints. You can go and purchase them and the license from iStock Photo. And let's go ahead and take a look at kind of our official Shadow Tower and Shadowdale. I'm very excited about this. And there we go. Go ahead and tab that over. That's what Shadowdale looks like. That's the Shadow Tower off in the distance.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I love
Very nice.
the moon.
Yeah.
It's so big.
Yep. And if you do happen to have if you can drop $40 on a 1-month short-term subscription, that $40 will cover 10 premium photo downloads at a total of 3 credits apiece from iStock Photo, and we'll give you the license. Otherwise, of course, you can always go and check them out and send some love to Liu Zishan, who you can use with a watermark, of course. So it looks like any of the stock photos there. Pop it up on your screen for some amazing, incredible vistas. This particular artist has some amazing stuff. You can either do the watermark for the big billboard, or if you got some extra money, you can add some nice little flavor to your D&D campaigns. So this is a little vista that we're going to be using to represent Shadowdale. It's as pretty close to perfect as we were possibly going to get. I spent like 2 hours looking at stock photos and purchasable art to use for this, and this just kind of fit the best. So we'll have a little bit of block text to go through. I'll switch over to Microsoft Word because nobody wants to see just a Microsoft Word app. Before you, under a clear, moonlit, and starry night, albeit dimmed and slightly faded by the light pollution of Shadowdale and the dormant Shadow Tower, the hamlet of quaint stonework mixed with the unassuming carpentry and a smattering of thatched roof cottages make for an otherwise idyllic landscape of residential homes and businesses. The cobblestone streets and oil lanterns along with the chirping of insects. Frantic now, after your arrival, and the distant scattering of forest creatures, owls and other insects in panic as they flee the chaos, provides a strangely serene backdrop to the beauty of Shadowdale, given the chaos that was just unleashed in its streets. In the center of the village, an impossibly large tower abuts awkwardly from the otherwise unassuming architecture, surrounded by buttresses of stone, sentinels, and turrets. A marvel of smoothed, curved crescents and towering spires, coalescing at an apex tower nearly 150 to 200 feet off of the ground. At the tip of the weather vane atop the spire looms before you the power of the ancient House Dhuurniv, lying manipulated by a betrayer, tapped, dormant, and twisted to some unknown form or power. From here, things may be chaotic and unpredictable. And as the fires of your assault roar in the night sky, you and the matrons have a moment to catch your breath. But just a moment. As we shift back over to the exterior. Whoops. Yeah, that's the wrong one. Of the government district. It is also another part of Shadowdale, though. And that's where we're going to bring in DM Lair, Amos, and Terra. As the fires begin to spread and the panic begins to emerge amidst the chaos and alarm bells, as the matrons gather themselves calmly, confidently, you coalesce at the center of the bridge that spans the lower levels of Shadowdale. Stormwatch, you have a quick moment to catch your breath. What do you do?
Is anybody hurt?
Junior is.
Junior got a little crispy. I think most everybody else managed to stay out of trouble.
Wait, that's a first.
I know.
Yeah.
I was amazed myself.
Would a cure wounds actually work on Junior?
I don't see why not.
Because I totally will. Because Junior's part of the team.
Abigail will bug you otherwise because she kind of flies down and is like trying to check him over, make sure he's okay, other than the nick that this dude got on him.
I'm gonna say go ahead.
In that case, I'll roll off a low-level cure wounds, because
Okay.
because
so before you subtract the spell slot, I'm going to say both of you can make a nature check, or one of you can make it at advantage. See if you can maybe get a better idea as to maybe alternative ways to...
Do you want me to do the nature check, or do you want to do it?
Mine's
Mine's actually pretty good.
I have a whole +1, so you could take the advantage.
Okay.
All right.
Davis is
'cause I
kind
got
of like a healer type, so it makes sense.
+4. So.
All right. As you're both kind of looking Junior over. Yeah, all right, let's see if you can get a crit. Woo, even better.
Not a crit, but a 21 total.
Between the two of you, you're able to just kind of... Junior is sort of kind of gesturing and kind of communicates with you, and just... in your mind, you just hear, remove, burn. And you can see just a little chunk of kind of charred, myconid flesh, and he just says, another word comes into your mind is superficial. And you take that to believe that you can actually, where the burn is on his torso, you can actually just kind of cut into the burn and have it not really be painful, and will actually kind of help heal.
In which case, then I'm totally going to take advantage of the field medic aspect and just kind of very carefully, like almost with a surgeon's like precision, just kind of scrape off the charred bits.
Yeah, I mean, you've definitely had some experience in the wilds with being a one of the winter wolves during the War of the Silver Marches with foraging, and plenty of mushrooms were found. And you know that they're pretty resilient, and kind of makes sense. And as you very delicately sort of cut around the burned flesh, you can see Junior kind of gathers up 3 mushrooms that have sort of sprouted from the top of his hat, much to the top of his form, and just kind of like sort of begins to kind of grind them up into what he's using as hands, and just kind of has this mushy pulp and just says, "Salve." Hands.
Famous will nod, take it from him, and actually do it up.
Yeah, you can kind of just take that and kind of just fill in that little bit where you kind of cut off some of the charred bits, and he's going to go back up to full health.
Nice.
And he says, you get the feeling like it was, a little uncomfortable, but definitely kind of the process for healing. You could see it kind of almost bubbling a little bit as it kind of begins to heal up. Matrons kind of gather together.
Oh. I'll look at Abigail. Oh, that's taken care of.
Yeah, thanks. Man, Junior, you are full of surprises.
Just kind of like does a little shimmy dance.
Yeah.
And if there's no other injuries to the team, then it becomes a threat assessment. Okay, what's next?
Okay. The matrons kind of gathering together. You can see the shadow tower looming in the distance as they convene at the center of the bridge. And they say, the matron, the high matron, speaks. And she says, "We'll approach the tower from around the town hall. At the opposite end, there is a sewer grate that will connect you to the lower levels of the tower. That way, we'll provide a distraction at the front door. We'll hold them off for as long as we can. And before we're overwhelmed, we will fly to the top of the tower and work our way down. You meet us in the middle or at the apex, and we will claim our birthright from there. I have waited so long for this. We have waited so long for this, sisters." They kind of put hands on each other's shoulders, and very emotional, almost at the brink of tears. They kind of have a moment where they form a circle and put their foreheads together. The high matron's cloak kind of billowing in the moonlight, reflecting some of the starlight as it sort of shimmers down from above in her cloak, and you can see those sort of galaxy patterns swirling in her cape. The emotion is palpable. It flows through all of you as they just share this intense moment of sisterhood, of siblings in the center of the square, being surrounded by these burning buildings, the fires of this chaos, the fires of battle, the distant sounds and shouts of soldiers as they approach. They kind of tap each other on the shoulders quickly and then look at all of you, and the High Matron speaks once again and says, "Onwards and upwards to victory, brethren! Follow!" And she just kind of summons some magic and quickly begins to glide over in this direction. Very quickly, with the sisters following behind. Grayana, with her bow outstretched, arrow notch at the ready, sort of swirling and roiling with black smoke. And Zulray, through the fire, hops onto the closest roof, just kind of as they proceed. about, it's maybe a few hundred feet to the other side of this building. And you know that just over your sight line here, the other side of the building, is sort of the exterior wall of the Shadow Tower and another sort of main street as they head down an alley towards a sewer grate in the distance. They proceed with conviction. Do you follow?
Yep. Simeon hops and follows them. Ready to get this done.
All right.
Indeed.
Just going to group you all up together. Zoom.
For
Abigail
what
zooming
it's
over.
For what it's worth, if we all stay together, everybody gets bonuses on saving throws.
Yep.
Took a page out of Panda's book here with like the vistas and everything.
Mhm.
Because I really liked what Panda was doing with that. That was really cool. All right. Proceeding forward through the city streets, you can hear that shouting getting closer. The galloping of hooves, and even the occasional whiff of an arrow just shoo, 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 over your head as the alarm bells get louder and more chaotic as the sound of footsteps comes toward you from all around, every direction, including from the front gates of the Shadow Tower. The High Matron begins to levitate herself as Zulray takes position, leaps across 3 other rooftops, and Grayana just kind of does a power slide, puts a hand on a grate, and just begins to lift. Is anyone else gonna giving her a hand as she just slowly pulls it off?
Absolutely.
All right, Thamus kind of runs over, and you just kind of no check necessary with your base strength. The two of you just lift it up and over. And Grayana looks at you and nods and says, "You should probably be the last one down, so you can flip it back."
Indeed.
The High Matron stops as she's levitating now about maybe 30 feet up in the air, 30, 35 feet, and looks down upon you, and just tears actually in her eyes now. You can see anger and rage and sorrow as every fiber of her being is enraptured with just the heat of this moment. She looks down to all of you and just, "I'll see you on the other side. Stormwatch, friends of House Dhuurniv." Lights up shadow flame in both of her hands. Turns and that cloak billowing in the night sky up into the air and just starts launching these volleys of magic potential, and you can hear the explosions and screams as she does. You can see Zulray beginning to throw knives from. She has a bandolier of daggers. And Grayana just disappears in a cloud of shadow smoke, appears on a roof, and just starts unleashing arrows that also cause these roiling negatives, almost like this negative impact sound of like this, and implosions followed by crunching and screams and chaos, as you can hear in Drowish more shouting from around you as the retainers of House Dhuurniv are now sowing chaos in the streets of their ancestral home, as they are now utilizing every last remnant of the house, every hit and run tactic they can to hold out until morning. Your goal is to rendezvous at the apex of the Shadow Tower with the Matrons, and they will hold off the Red Plumes for as long as they can. Descend into the sewer, and Thamus, can I get an athletics check for me as you close the sewer grate?
Is there any way that I can assist with that?
Absolutely, you can make that at advantage.
All right,
and
that's a good thing, because
Oh, jeez, yeah.
um, not much better,
Well,
and I'm
Oh.
I'm burning an inspiration.
Well,
for
before you do it,
that.
10 is what you need.
Oh, okay.
It's just sort of like a
All
base check. Yeah, DC 10, DC 10. You kind of, it's
Oh.
heavier. It's heavier than it looks, and I like to picture the two of you just. This is really, it is actually heavy, but eventually you're able to just and slide it back on, and just as you do, yeah, it's sort of like a. Go ahead. Sorry.
I wasn't gonna be stealthy with that anyway.
It's sort of like this iron barred grate, and you can see this intricate filigree, this elvish that you recognize as sort of very drowish on the actual sewer grate itself, but you drop down into the architecture of the sewers is the walkways and the arches and the cobblestone, as well as the keystones. It's old, it's ancient, but it's well kept. And the sluice ways, there's actually sort of this latch has a sort of an old iron ladder that descends. It's rusty and unstable as you make your way down, but it descends to one of those byways on the stone. No getting your boots wet, no getting stinky, or at least not to the point that a prestidigitation can't handle. And heading due north, they would have basically given you the last instruction from Grayana was follow the main tunnel north towards the Shadow Tower. Take a left, a right, and emerge at your first iron ladder. All the way down until you can't go any further. A left, the T, and then your first right, and then up the first latch. You can hear from the sewers, from the byways and sluice ways, the chaotic explosions and flame and guttural screams and chaos of not just the matrons, but the entirety of the roughly 150 to 200 so retainers, all hands on deck, sowing the seeds of chaos, knowing all the ins and outs, every cellar, every nook, every cranny, every sewer gate, every sluice gate, and every portcullis in the city, with only the wisdom that comes from that of the elves. Generations of knowledge and of skill, enough to keep the Red Plumes at bay for now, but the rest remains up to you. It takes you about 5 minutes. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, then let's get this show on the road.
Okay. It takes about 5 minutes, moving at a good pace for you to get to your destination. But I'm going to put the matrons here. Let's put Grayana on a... Ooh, I like this. Put Grayana on a rooftop. We'll put Zulray on another one. And I like this, like, right in front of the... Yeah, cool. Alright. Let's grab all of y'all. Oh, and we're missing... We're missing Jeff. Hold on, let me go back and get you from the other page.
I disappeared. I'm sneaky.
Yeah, very sneaky.
Simeon!
I think you're the only one.
You're the fighter, but you're the pseudo rogue.
I'm the sneakiest fighter there's ever sneaked.
Let's get rid of some of these extra tokens for now. These extra markers.
Paladin does a lot of... This paladin does a lot of things. Sneaky is not one of them.
Yes. Copy. Alright. Yeah. Very cool.
Oh, I don't like this layout. What spooky biz is this?
You emerge from a sluice gate at eye level. As you kind of ascend a ladder, you come into what is a lower level sewer, perhaps once a basement, but due to probably neglect of the waterway system, kind of like what you saw in Tilverton, with the sort of not really knowing how to work everything here. It's become slightly flooded as you ascend, and there is a wrought iron gate that is locked, but it's thin, old, somewhat rusty, and it's sort of right over here. I'll kind of line you up where it would be, kind of come around and put Terra off the map here, and there is no there's no light on this map for that reason. It's kind of line you up so you can get a better idea, and it is otherwise empty. neglected, allowed to flood into disrepair. You can see barrels and crates sort of bobbing in the water that have been left or abandoned by its new occupants. It's been several years at this point, several decades in the case of House Dhuurniv, but without the knowledge of the old elvish waterways, it's fallen a little bit into disrepair, at least at the base of the level. But you know that the source of the Shadow Tower's power is at the apex, not in the ancient waterways.
Simeon's gonna sort of lead the party through, checking the ways.
I would be right
Not sneezing.
behind you because I do have my. I have a thing. My magic awareness.
There we go.
Famous would most definitely be bringing up the rear, shield up, and ready to start defending these guys.
Okay, so Simeon, you're at the front. You're the spearhead.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. There is an old rusty iron gate before you, and there is some sort of water, some spillover from the waterways that have kind of over years sort of leaked in here. This water is not as bad as the sewer water, but it's pretty stagnant and kind of gross. Not as bad as it would be if you were like in the middle of the sewer, because it's sort of elevated, but better, but not ideal, of course. But it's only about ankle deep. Anybody that's wearing boots should be fine. If you're not, I'm sorry. Oh no, piggy dipping.
It's fine. I've got Presty, I think.
All right, yeah, then
I
you'll be fine.
do. I can fluff up my fur.
I was gonna say, if you don't, I do.
Outstanding.
But yeah, I'll step forward and start flexing my muscles and get ready to tear this thing open if that's what we need to do.
Is this sort of like a kind of a encased in like stonework and stuff like that? Like this little alcove, if you will, that we're in?
Yeah, so it's basically a maintenance passage, and there is a sort of like an old rusty iron frame, and around that the gate can open either way. But it's old, somewhat rusted, looks a little, worse for wear. It's locked with an old mechanical lock, like an old sort of part of the grate itself has an old lock and key on the right hand side of it. So on Simeon's right, it sort of connects into the
key
stonework.
In the lock, or is it just a padlock that needs a key?
It's a built-in padlock on the right hand side of the stonework. As you can see, also that the frame of this sort of circular culvert has sort of been built into sort of the masonry.
Oh, okay. Simeon will try and pick it open then.
Okay, go ahead and
I
give
love
me
that question of, is the key
Yeah.
in the lock?
Hey, I know maintenance people. If it's easier that
Yeah.
way, you just leave it be.
Yeah.
Right.
Rats out.
All right, show me Thieves' Tools, Sleight of Hand. Sorry, Thieves' Tools with Dexterity.
Guidance.
You get a little
About
sort
an
of...
18.
All right, yeah, I was going to say you get a little flash
Okay.
of genius, a little flash of inspiration from Abigail, maybe holding a light or giving words of
If it
encouragement.
didn't work, my hands were already on the grate, ready to just rip it off. So
Clem looks a little bit disappointed, Simeon, as you pick the lock very skillfully. You hear, and you can kind of give it a little push, and but it opens.
Quietly unpick the lock, and it is the world's worst, screechiest hinges.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, we'll go ahead and push through and let the party out.
Okay, I'm just gonna sort of... Yep, you can go ahead and filter in your characters. There is sort of a... everything here is the water. Most of the places is ankle or slightly above ankle depth. But you can kind of get a pretty easy feel for the general layout of the tower. You know that the tower itself is surrounded by sort of 4 castle walls and an interior courtyard, but the sewer system has been able to bypass the outer castle walls or the castellan walls to get you inside of the central tower itself. To the far sort of western side of the tower, you can see sort of a raised stairwell that leads up into a spiral staircase, but there doesn't seem to be any presence of any red plumes or any evidence of that, given the fact that they have essentially let this level fall into disuse and disrepair. And the water is not necessarily sewage, more of a little bit of runoff, so they kind of like seem to have left it like just a flooded basement.
Okay. Yeah, Simeon's definitely going to make a quick check to make sure that there's nothing, going to jump out at him. And then he's going to make a beeline for the spiral staircase.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception check, please. Simeon at the lead.
And as well, Clem wants to do a magic awareness, so able to
Yes.
sense any magic items or spells, magic things within 60 feet.
Okay. As you kind of
Just
open...
to be sure that there's no shenanigans, because you never know.
Yeah, no, totally. You open your mind to the presence of magic, and these first couple, at least directly above you, anything below you and around you, nothing here seems to be magical.
That's what I like to hear.
Okay. All right, so Simeon with an 8, at least in the water, you don't see anything of note.
Abigail has reminded me that I got guidance from her.
Oh, okay, all right.
That's a D. What again?
It's a D4.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Abigail is also kind of poking around and kind of keeping her eyes peeled. Go ahead and roll a D4 to. Oh.
I got a 9.
With a
All
9.
right.
Yay!
Love guidance, but sometimes that one is like. All right, so yeah, nothing. I mean, but
Everything looks fine to me.
yeah, I mean, you're just in, in sort of the waterways here. It's very dimly lit. It's really hard to see. There's some dimly lit torches on the far side. Okay, so you make your way to the stairs. You can see sort of it leads down likely to the sewer, and then leads up to the first area. There's probably a secondary reinforced gate below, but it's likely they sent you this way knowing that the gate here on the far side was old and rusted.
Yeah, Simeon's like, okay, weird that they put the torches up, but hey, good to go. Let's go.
They're sort of
Yeah,
older. One of them is almost burned out, but go ahead.
I was just gonna, seeing that Simeon didn't die on the way over there, we'll rush over as well.
Okay, all right. You ascend the first set of stairs. The rest of you can go ahead and move your tokens about the map wherever you'd like your characters to be. I'll kind of just position Terra over here. We'll bring Junior somewhere kind of in the middle. All right.
But if
And,
we're going up the staircase, I definitely want to try and stealth just in case the next floor has people.
Okay, Simeon, what's your passive perception? Same thing with Clem. If Clem is going to be right behind, if that's the marching order.
Passive is 19.
Oh, shit. Okay, and Clem, what's your passive?
Not as good as that.
Okay.
It's a 13.
As you are kind of making your way over, the torch is kind of giving you... you hear this kind of dull flapping sound from behind you. As you can see, Abigail, the ceilings here are only maybe about 15 feet, but kind of like bumping up against the ceiling, trying to avoid the water. You can see Abigail kind of like trying to just, kind of a thing. I'm with you. I'd probably do the same thing, like trying to avoid the the sort of old murky floodwater here. But Simeon, with your passive of 19, because I do love passives, you get about 5, just maybe about a foot from the stairwell, and you can see sort of stretched across the stairwell leading up, there are these small, almost sort of like box-like features on either side of the stonework that are protruding slightly. It seems like wood that's been painted the sort of grayish charcoal color, almost blend in with the stonework. And on either side of these two boxes of wood, connecting that is a razor-thin tripwire.
Oh, look, someone memorized explosive wood today. I would like to attempt to disable the trap.
Okay, all right. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check. Yeah, that would also be Thieves' Tools with dexterity. Oh, easy.
I do still love how it gives you the opportunity. Thieves' Tools with strength.
Okay, so you see kind of Simeon going to work and taking some wire cutters, and just takes a moment very carefully, very precisely to just kind of, and another, kind of pulling the wire just enough. You cut the tripwire, and you can see that the boxes here, now that you can get a closer look at them, inside of these small wooden boxes that have sort of been made to blend in with the stonework, they seem very heavy, and you can see that this tripwire kind of goes into them, and there was very likely a mechanism in here that would pull on some sort of rudimentary explosive device. Even if it doesn't do much damage, what you're thinking is probably the equivalent of a couple of fireworks on either side. So sort of a combination of an explosion that might get you pretty dinged up, maybe lose a finger or two, and will alert the tower to your presence. So it's clever.
It's an M60 taped to the wall.
Yes.
Clever.
Rudimentary, clever, kind of on brand for what you know of the Red Plumes, and sort of it's very likely that they could probably produce a bunch of these sort of low yield, sort of explosive alarm packs to kind of set up at security points. Makes sense. Explosives and powder or fireworks can be easy to come by. You can have stuff some of them in with a trigger mechanism and a tripwire. You've got your alarm system, and you're damaging the intruders in the process. But with that disarmed, you can proceed up. And I know that the two in the front had said stealthily, yes?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
all right.
yes.
So let's go ahead and get a... So behind... by the way, Willow, once you get to... Abigail. Once you get to the stairwell, are you like landing and kind of proceeding on foot?
Yeah, I'll like
Okay.
land and kind of shake off my feet that
Okay,
are
yeah.
a little gross. Press the digitate where I can, and then proceed up.
Okay, yeah, a couple of just brief flashes. Doesn't really make a sound or too much of a bright light. Just as you kind of prestidigitate yourselves, get clean, make yourself smell nice, and proceed to go up the stairs. So stealth check from Simeon and Clem. Who is going to be behind Simeon and Clem as they make their way up the stairs?
Knowing that I cannot stealth, I'm going to wait.
I
And
was gonna
basic.
say probably Tara, then followed by Abigail, because Abigail wants to be as close to the back as possible.
Do you have a DM inspiration that you'd like to use?
Me?
Yeah, you. I see that 8.
No.
Oh, it's Rudolph. Hey, Rudolph.
I've got a luck point I can spend on it.
Okay.
Yeah, either that or I have one if you want it.
I will say that there are 7 maps now, I think, in this tower, plus 2. So maybe there's 9 total.
Yeah.
So if you've got a luck point, you can go ahead and okay. So I know, do you have one too? But I think who wants to give their luck point to Clem?
Simeon already did.
Oh, okay, okay.
He typed it in chat, so.
All right, fair enough. That's right. If it's yellow text, it's official. All right, so
15.
much better. Okay, and let's see, Simeon, are you in heavy armor?
Unfortunately, chainmail does apparently count as heavy armor. I keep forgetting it's not medium.
That's okay. Do you want to go behind Clem in that case?
I could.
If you like, or you can, if somebody wants to give another luck point to Simeon to make that 11 to 26 for your point, people.
Yeah, you can have mine.
Okay.
Such a
Thank you, D.
gracious, protective DM.
Okay. All right. Listen, this is a challenging part of the campaign by a lot. So I want to make sure I want to give y'all as many advantages as I can.
No.
So
Famous for that reason is gonna wait and bring up the rear
okay. All right.
as to not give that disadvantage to everybody.
All right, that's fair. All right, and I wanted to make sure. Sarah, okay, awesome. And Abigail, can you do you have control of Terra as well? Just want to make sure you can move the token around before we get to.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. All right, so I'm assuming Simeon and Clem, Abigail or Terra?
To turn that around. Tara, then Abigail.
Okay, Terra, then Abigail, and then Thamus at the end?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and this marching order. All right, Abigail, can you make a stealth check with Terra, and also one for yourself as well? And then Thamus, I'm assuming you're gonna want to like hold back a bit and wait for the signal. Gonna let them do their thing.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's see. Stealth? Well, that was a 6, but she's got a +6 for 12.
Okay. That's good. That's good. And for was that Abigail or Terra?
No, that was Tara.
Okay. All right.
And then for going off the desk here. That's not much better. That is a 7 plus 2 for 9.
Okay. All right.
Gonna put purple dice away for now.
So, first up, though, you're gonna have a chance to react because that's a 26 is good and a 15 is good, and that is higher than the passive perception of the two individuals that you see on your way up the stairs. I'm just gonna kind of copy this. We'll move up to the next one. That does or should have, let me make sure dynamic lighting is on, because that would be, yes, okay. Now we have dynamic lighting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 maps plus the vista. It's not 9, it's 10. But two where are on the outskirts in the streets, and we avoided those. So there's 8 tower maps. Plus the, sorry, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 8. 8 plus the vista. Anyway, here's the next one. Simeon and Clem, as you kind of come up the stairs from below, you almost bump into what appears to be a Red Plume guard who is just kind of hanging out. Oh, Nyup! Hello, Nyup! Tarot card! Awesome! Ooh! Okay. That's good. That's the designer. Hi. Hello. How's everything going in the world of Coldrake and Yup? This is the designer. Yeah,
That's our third.
Yeah.
Nice.
The designer, if you recall, really pretty tarot cards here. The designer is like a DM wild in the way that the DM gives you insight into the current arc or the current stretch some almost like meta knowledge. And I think
Wait, designer or developer?
designer.
Okay, never mind. That's our first of those then.
The developer is sort of like a GM wild, where I can give y'all like little boops on the nose to redo a roll or things like that. The designer is going to give you some unique insights. So I will say, in sort of a very meta way, this is an interesting card because it kind of talks about the game as a whole. Some hints: conserve your resources. You'll know when to use them. That is some advice I will give to you. You do not have to clear every floor. You can get to a certain... You can keep going up. This can be a stealth mission. You can play this like Metal Gear Solid until you need to use those resources. You do not have to clear every inch of every floor. You can. You can make a lot of noise, sort of bang on the walls and announce your presence, and attempt to sort of clear up each floor as to not have people coming up behind you, or you can stealth your way all the way up to the top. But either way, conserve your resources. Also, the higher up you go, the more powerful the enemies will be.
Of course.
That is kind of a classic, some classic game design here at play.
Now, this might be slightly metagame based on that information.
Okay.
The traps that we disarmed, can we rearm them later?
I would say it might take some finesse with sort of tying that razor wire back to the razor wire that was disconnected, but yeah, probably with a good enough roll, yeah.
Okay.
Also, other meta knowledge, this level is a prison level, though.
Interesting.
And I will tilt my head slowly to that.
I have another question.
Mm-hmm.
This being a stone tower, a stonework tower, how thick do I think these the floors are? Like, if the floor is now becoming the ceiling to the next level, how thick do I think that barrier is?
So there's probably maybe about 5 feet of stone that separates each level. Stonework and archways and architecture. Maybe sort of like a thin layer of wood above that. But it's an old stone tower, and it's held up by a long series of support beams.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we stroll up on one guard.
Simeon
there's two.
Waves his hand back and indicates to Clem that there's two. And then very quietly draws his rapier.
Okay.
Clem is going to do... Let's see, who's behind Clem?
Tara.
Clem is gonna look at Tara and kind of gesture to her that he wants to... No, he'll look at Simeon and nod and give a, like, killing motion, like, I get one, you get another.
And now, one more piece of teeny tiny metagame questions. Because of my tactical martial power through MCDM Kingdoms and Warfare, difficult terrain no longer poses a detriment to me.
Okay.
Does that count on going through an occupied square?
If you can move through, but obviously if you do, they would be alerted to your presence. Also, a second tarot card, which is going to give y'all Hmm. Hmm. Hang on, that's gonna make me. I'm gonna look at the stat sheet now that there's been another tarot card pull here.
Now, do you guys signal back that there's guards?
Yeah, I'll signal back that
Ooh.
there's two ahead of us.
All right. Well, that is interesting. Let's see.
Because if you two are gonna try and stealth your way through this, I'm going to stay far enough behind and not undo that, not undo that.
Well, and the problem is because I'm not communicating this verbally, Simeon can see jail cells. So is going to be going for it because, you know, the tarot says be bold. So off you go.
I'm gonna say with the next tarot pull, there's a few things that are gonna line up. This one's from Cole Drake. The first one, the designer was from Neil, and the next one is from Cole Drake, and this one is the Two of Humanoids, which is an ally in this case. And I'm gonna say, as you kind of make your way up, you hear almost this excited, somewhat delirious message in your mind, Simeon. I just kind of echoes rashly in there, but it's almost broken up. It's staticky, and it's hard to explain. There's interference, and it's a feminine voice, and you just... Prisoners. The warden. Out of... Quickly. And it fades, and it just kind of fades in a fizzle, and almost gives you a bit of a headache. You kind of hear the sharp ringing in your ears as you get that message. But you have a feeling like not only are there prisoners on this level, and thank you, Cole Drake, for this, because there's also a powerful magic user on this level that seems to be kept in some place that is causing interference on this level. So you got a lot of insight here from Tarot. I like that.
Yeah, so anyway, Simeon is going to slowly draw his rapier quietly and quite literally barbecue the guy to the left. So the one basically around the corner.
Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect.
Well, I'm going to be moving to take out the next one, hopefully in quick succession, with Simeon.
Okay.
But I would be essentially doing more of a grapple. Have a hand axe out in one hand and attempting to walk behind, grab over their mouth with my paw, and kind of loop around one of the legs with my leg to pull them close to hopefully just keep them nice and close and grappled so I can slam my hand axe into their chest a few times.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna say go ahead and you can go ahead and make that rapier attack at advantage, Simeon, for the first one, as you try to kind of barbecue the guard on the left-hand side here. And show me that at advantage. Yeah, 26 will definitely hit. Roll damage, please. And also simultaneously, could I have Clem go ahead and make a strength athletics check at advantage? Okay, yeah, that will do it. And
26 to hit and a total of 17 damage.
Nice. All right, and with that, go ahead and make a series of 3 attacks, all at advantage, with your hand axe, as described. Okay. Go ahead and roll damage on the first and third one.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to roll that many. I didn't know how many it did. First and third.
Yep. Wow, max damage on number 2. Okay, so exactly as described, perfectly executed without a sound. Terra, you are waiting Terra is waiting in the wings along with Abigail, and the two of you together. As you kind of make your way up, you're realizing that the two of you are kind of just some loose pebbles fall along the side of the stairs. But as they do, you can see as this first guard kind of turns, just kind of looks at the other guard, they kind of look at each other. And as they do, this one here just goes, a little bit of blood kind of trickles down as sort of he turns around, and before he can spin around fully, kind of spinning him back, kind of taking out the back of his knee, putting him down, and just with a quick right in the back, both of you are able to perfectly dispatch both of these guards fully. They only have 11 HP per. And you're able to guide the bodies down to the ground without much of anything, really. Well done. Now what?
From the immediate look here, this is the only two guards on the level, right?
Ooh, go ahead and
Like
make
right
me...
in this immediate like corner here.
Yeah, go ahead and make me an active perception check, because your adrenaline is pumping at this point.
Is it
Not mean
okay
to have
move my
advantage on
token?
that, but I did get a 22.
22? Okay, what about the token? Yeah, go ahead and you can move around a little bit. All right, Simeon,
I was gonna
you...
say, I can't see anything at the moment.
Oh, shit. Okay, sorry. I guess I need to give you vision. What's your dark vision?
Yes.
Yeah, yes. It exists. It exists somewhere.
It exists somewhere. I know has.
I'm going to say everything is lit by torches, so I'm going to say that if you don't have dark vision, this area is well lit by braziers and torches, so I'm going to give you just the basic 30 feet.
Okay. Because if not, I would definitely light something, but I don't want to do that until we know
No, that's fair. Yeah,
people won't spot it just yet.
yeah, no, there's torches, candles, and braziers, but there are no windows, but it's lit. It's sort of like a dimly lit prison that's been lit by torchlight and brazier. Simeon, I'll get to you in 1 second. You're next. Ange. So, Simeon, you're able to see in the far distance a glowing bright brazier, and you just hear a little bit of shuffling and of furniture and movement at the far end. You can hear footsteps, patrols making their way around the prison level, but no one seems to have been alerted. Maybe the coughing of a few prisoners. And you hear a distant scream. Smart. You hear a distant scream from the far sort of southern portion of the tower, a feminine scream, and then you hear a "Shut it!" and you just hear a loud clang on sort of iron. And then sort of a shriek and a cry that almost seems exaggerated.
So Simeon turns and whispers to Clem, "Pass it on. This is a prison level, and I think there's a magic user here. I'm gonna head south. Ready up and go." And then step out into the area here.
Okay. All right, go ahead, and the two of you can move your tokens.
I'm just gonna
Go ahead, sorry.
play the game of telephone and let them know it's a prison level.
Okay, all right, so that is relayed to everyone successfully. As you kind of make your way in, next on the marching order would be, let me exit this preview. GM, we have Terra. Make sure Terra has vision. Yes, I'm gonna give her, I think it's 60 feet. Simeon, with your passive perception of 19. Oh yeah, it's going to be a little crowded back here. I'll give you a second. With your passive of 19, now that you have sort of disarmed the main threat here, kind of stepping over the bodies, you hear coughing and voices and murmuring coming from around the tower. There's probably more than a few prisoners. You hear sort of footsteps coming from the north, footsteps coming from the south, conversation, frustrated, anxious conversation in larger groups coming from the south. And from the far side, you hear a shout, just, "Everything all right down there?" And then you just hear like a, "Yeah!" But that shout is coming from the far side, directly in front of you, Simeon, and you can see a glowing brazier kind of lighting a large sort of office room that is sort of set below a lowered set of steps.
I would like to make a tactical assessment.
Okay.
Using my Battlemaster feat, I'm going to use a superiority die on the insight check.
Okay.
Is it better to go after the guy in the office or clear the rest of the level?
Okay, go ahead and give me an insight check with that. We'll see what insight can be gleaned.
While he's doing that, can I quickly hide the bodies somewhere?
Absolutely. Do you want to drag them back down into the lower level?
Either that, or if there's anywhere close by, we can stash them.
All of these cells are the vacant ones seem to be unlocked, but they are the one that was cut up with your hand axe and the one that was sort of filleted by a rapier are gonna leave some blood trails as you drag them across the ground.
Yeah.
Abigail will prestidigitate away the blood.
Ooh, okay. Do you have DM inspiration already?
I was gonna say I might help with that.
I gave it to Clem earlier.
Okay, well you can go ahead and add that back because I've never heard a player ask to use prestidigitation, and that makes me so happy because I'm gonna do that all the time now as a player.
Yep.
To clean up blood.
Cantrips are far more useful than people give them credit for.
Yeah.
Especially when you can spam them now.
Yeah, I've been sitting here trying to figure out, okay, well, this is stonework. I have molder. How can I just encase someone in stone right now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's like, I mean, it's not just for grime, it's also for, cleaning up blood trails.
Oh yeah.
The broom
Yeah,
closet.
no,
Also,
if it helps, so I was just going to say, if it helps speed up the process, I wanted to do it with her so that we could...
absolutely. So I'm gonna say, Famous, given your heavy armor, I'm gonna say, Clem, go ahead and move yourself in a little bit.
No,
into the...
Yep.
Yeah,
over
Famous is
here.
wearing chain, which counts as heavy armor, which is weird.
And kind of with your passives, you know that this immediate area has been essentially cleared. But Simeon, your insight 12, and did you add the... Okay, so the total is 19?
Oh, yeah, sorry. 19. I can't add. 19.
Might be worth it to clear this level. However, they might not be in tip-top shape. I have to adjust that. They shouldn't be. That is... Let's see if I can look at some of my notes here. Okay. It's very likely that they are going to be injured, and they might not all be combatants. But it's probably worth clearing this floor.
Okay. So in that case, Simeon is going to reach over and tap Clem on the shoulder and say and point down his hallway, and then double time. Let's rush him.
If you two, before we all split up again, do you want Famous to take care of the non-combatants?
It's not a bad idea.
Here in a minute, this isn't going to be stealthy.
Well, it's a different kind of stealth.
Fair.
My point is, if the prisoners aren't gonna fight us, we might as well get them out alive.
Mhm.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding. Yeah.
And that's kind of where Thamus would actually do that, as opposed to fighting unnecessarily.
Also, a point of order, considering that they are yelling across the halls, might want to block off the north entrance with somebody who can take hits.
Yup. All right.
So either you can do it or Tara can do it. And I'm just gonna take pot shots from either or. I'm just gonna center myself where we can just do that.
I am more than happy to do that. I'm more than happy to block off the north entrance with a shield and a hammer and soak some damage and maybe get off a what is it? I have it. Well, I was just looking at it. Get off a get off a thing. Smite. There we go.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Smite.
I get there eventually.
I was like, there's a lot of things you could do. What do you
Mhm.
love the journey though?
The thing I have that I almost never use because I don't do damage often.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not complaining about that. That's kind of what this character does.
So then, do we want to do like three go north, 3 go south?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll have both my hand axes ready, one in each.
I think for tactician's sake, Abigail should probably go with the boys, since she can heal and Thamus can heal. Tara will go with Thamus, and Junior will go with them, and Abigail will go with the boys.
Okay.
Whatever works. Because Tara can do obscene amounts of damage too.
That's probably most of the reason why I was like, well, she can just parkour over you and get to people. So I think that's the most advantageous thing.
Just as long as she doesn't bite me, I'm fine.
That's right. That was like a whole thing.
That was a whole thing.
That was the whole thing.
And I will make sure that doesn't happen again.
Third time's the charm?
I prevented it at least once with my spell list.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
I know there was at least once when it just was all kinds of disaster. But
only because I think I was made of like 2/3 poison by that time, so an additional land shark bite was not the greatest.
It'll be fine.
That was fine.
It's a love fight.
And it didn't help that on the DC, Terra rolled a nat 20 to prevent me from casting the spell.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I do love this group.
I forgot to give this guy an office. A desk. I had to add the desk asset. But he's got this cool little desk there. Pop.
And the chat is agreeing.
Yarp.
Oh, this is a great chat tonight. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Releasing the
Release
prisoners.
the Kraken.
Releasing the prisoners does completely align with Thamus's oath.
All right, so wherever you'd like to start moving, you may go ahead and disperse, and I would like for everyone to make a stealth check, please. Along the way, you may not, it may determine how close we get without rolling initiative.
Yep.
Ooh, a 19.
Okay. And
I boo on stealth.
So who's going with?
My
Sorry, just real quick. Who's going with Simeon down the hallway? Clem, right?
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. And Clem, what was yours? Was a
Abigail.
19? Go ahead, D.
And Abigail.
And Abigail. Okay, so one from Abigail as well.
Ooh, that's a natural
Abigail!
one.
Okay, so Clem,
I'm
go ahead.
not stealthy. I'm sorry.
Go ahead and move a little closer. I'm gonna say Simeon, you're able to kind of hold on to your chainmail in a way that you're just kind of very able to quickly, and you can see that as you kind of round the bend there, you can see a warden. Clem, hold on. As you pass, also,
That's why I was trying to
Yeah.
find where Simeon was.
you do see a feminine presenting
Oh, well-
prisoner down. She has her nose is bleeding a little bit. She looks a little bruised and worse for it, but not too bad. Long white hair, and she just kind of looks up at you. She's kind of on her knees and has her hands kind of bound behind her. But you can see one arm looks a little bit looser than the other, and she just kind of gives you really wide eyes as you pass very quietly. Simeon, it's just at this second where this guy kind of looks up and says, "What the fuck?" But with your 16, that would beat the passive of... And when they were like, "Is everything all right?" That wasn't about any of y'all. That was about the South. So when he was like looking away, and he just saw like a flash and did a double take. And then Clem, you're able to get into position as well with your 16. Thamus, were you heading? I know Abigail, you were moving along that way too. So I'm gonna say Clem and Abigail. Clem, you're able to get basically anywhere in this room. Clem and Simeon get a surprise round on the warden, and Abigail, you can move to over here at the top of the steps, anywhere on the top of the steps. Clem and Simeon, you can jump down into position perfectly. I'm assuming Junior is going to be sort of shambling somewhere behind. And Thamus, where are you headed? Are you headed along with the main group, north or south?
Famous was gonna head north.
Okay, with
think
Terra,
that's what
right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So, D, if you could move Terra up there as well, and also make a stealth check for Terra. And Thamus, you're kind of clanking a little bit. But if you
Oh,
could
yeah.
move Terra up here to this area, and also make a stealth check with her D, if you don't mind.
Sure. I will.
Right on top
endeavor
of the
to not-
steps. And this guy was kind of
Well-
moving around on patrol. And by this time, he would probably be... Alright, as you're kind of moving in, you hear like an, "Oi!" And before we roll initiative, if I could have Simeon and Clem take their surprise rounds on the warden as he kind of leaps up and just, "What the fuck?"
If possible,
Mm-hmm.
reckless. Oh, reckless is only for melee. Never mind. Because what I want to do is I'm going to use this forward momentum. Depending on where Simeon goes, I want to use this forward momentum to run forward and with a front flip forward and then just chuck both of my hand axes directly at this guy.
Ooh, okay, all right. I'm gonna say, as a Harangan, no check needed for the throw, for the jump. But go ahead and make the throws. You can make both attacks. Yeah, no, technically you both succeeded, so both of you can make attacks at advantage. He sees you, but you're able to line up the perfect shot. So for that, as you do a leap, go ahead and roll 2 hand axes at advantage, please. Oh, shit! All right, that's a nat
Alright.
20. Both hit
Extra
with the
for
hand
Oh,
axes.
nice.
I like that game.
And what was, Simeon, what was yours again?
Simeon hasn't rolled yet, so I was getting ready to see what Clem was gonna do. But since we have advantage, that's all I needed to know.
Mhm.
Full attack with rapier.
Okay, all right. Show me with advantage. All right, and sneak attack because you were hidden.
24 and a 22 on attack.
Yep.
That was Clem's damage, not mine.
Oh, okay, all right. So yeah, 24 and 22 both hit. and roll damage on both with sneak on 1. All right. And for big bad damage, it's actually that first 5 is going to be a 6. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, plus another 15, and oh wait, no, sorry, hold on, plus another 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, yeah, plus another 15 total. Yeah, as this guy kind of stands up and says, what the fuck? You kind of see Simeon, you kind of just perfectly step down each step. And as you do, kind of leaping around from behind you with that sort of bounding leap, 2 hand axes, and this guy's chest, blood trickling down his mouth as he like, and you just kind of run down and 2 quick thrusts as you remove the last thrust, and the hand axes go further into his chest as he slams face down on the desk, sits back down, slumps perfectly over, dead. Keys jangling at his side. There's a brightly glowing brazier in here, along with sort of a freshwater trough. There is a table that is loaded with a few gold coins, but mostly silver coins, a few buckets and crates, and a steel chest that is locked over here on the side. That's the situation up here. Thamus and Terra, as you run through, you can see an individual looking very dehydrated over here on the left, non-binary, gender neutral, as they kind of leap up and just kind of grab onto the side of the bars, and they just hey, and kind of just start to rattle the bars a little bit. I'm kind of flip this token. They for this NPC. Yeah, as he just kind of get me out. He kind of tries to catch his breath.
Thamus will try talk, letting them know that that's exactly what we're planning on doing. Talk them down, offer like a sip of water, and you know what? Can I? And yeah, we'll see if we we'll let them know that yeah, we're gonna get them out.
Okay. Before you do, could I have Terra via D and Thamus? Could I have both of you roll initiative, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
For initiative, I'm decidedly average.
Oh, well, that was insight, not initiative. So you can re-roll that.
No, it was initiative.
You're right. That's right. I am dyslexic, apparently. Oh, we already knew this. That's okay. And is Junior going with Thamus and Terra, or right behind you, Abigail?
Junior was going with Thamus and Terra.
Okay. All right. So can you roll in it for Junior as well? And also, I'll put this on there. Your footsteps, Abigail, are there's a little bit of an echo as you were running up behind, but it was not too much of an issue. That, let's see, what did you roll for stealth that first time? That nat 1, you kind of almost you could have almost trip over yourself. And as you kind of trip over this little like an imperfection in the stonework, you kind of catch yourself dramatically on one of the bars, getting your wings ready to kind of brace your fall. But as you kind of trip and grab onto the bars and are kind of like hanging there, you look over and you can see Clem do the bounce flip and Simeon do the finishing flourish there, and you're able to kind of just dust yourself off. If you do it gracefully, they probably won't even notice.
I was gonna say, I imagine that it's a little weird considering the echo probably sounded like horses because she's got little hoof feet.
Oh yeah, like clap, 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 clap.
So it's probably more of a like, what the hell is a horse doing in here?
Yeah. At that point, actually no, that was done perfectly. So could I get another round of stealth checks from Abigail, Clem, and Simeon as we go up to the north here to take care of this?
D, pointing out in the chat that Simeon tossed to you the keys.
Oh, yes, I will attempt to gracefully catch them.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Check necessary.
And Clem would actually want to start heading back towards that south because he spotted that person down there, and potentially bringing that bringing the water trough with him just to, maybe
So-
have some fresh water to give to the prisoner.
So you remember that part where I said I attempt to gracefully catch you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna imagine that it wasn't graceful at all, and I just fall on my face, and the keys just fall right on my head.
Yeah, and there's you hear kind of from the north like a hey, and from the south you just kind of hear rustling as you kind of hear a shout and just Sebastian, and sort of some muttered murmuring as you can now hear shuffling. But I still want to give all right, Clem 15, and Simeon another stealth check.
Just normal.
Yep, just normal.
Okay.
General active
Or rather,
perception for the
normally
other
at
3.
disadvantage because stupid armor.
And okay, all right. Let's see. Oh, that's actually not at advantage. Then switch that off. Toggle. Okay, and then one more. All right, so I'm gonna say Simeon and whoop, kind of off the map here a little bit. Sorry about that. Simeon and Abigail, you're kind of a distraction for Clem. Clem, you almost sort of bump into. I'm gonna say, just as you're kind of rounding the bend here, because you were gonna go south, right?
Yeah, I wanted to go south.
Okay, I'm gonna say Clem is the only one that's gonna get a surprise round, and then everyone's gonna roll in it. So, kind of coming around the corner, I'm gonna just go ahead and move your token like right here. You almost bump into this one guard who is kind of coming from this direction. I'll kind of show you his pattern, and you almost bump into him. But you can go ahead and do your surprise round with your 15 stealth. He rolled very low.
I'd like to grapple this guy and
Go ahead and yep, go ahead.
pull him over to the side just in case.
I'll make the warden
so-
look dead. There we go, a little bit.
Is that a athletics? Okay.
Yep, athletics at advantage. Would you kindly take the keys, leave the cannoli?
Natural
Yeah.
20.
Oh no.
Natural 20 for a 26.
Okay, and
Nice.
what are you Okay. What are you doing with this guy?
I guess I will. I mean, if I successfully grapple this guy, so I guess I will just.
Do you want to do the solid snake neck snap?
I'll do it in a. I'll do it in a sexy way because no one's watching, but I'll grab this guy with
Yeah.
one arm and just kind of wedge him between right where the elbow joint is and just flex my bicep and snap his neck.
All right. Yeah, there's like a blur of motion and fur and ears as just a quick little, as you can't even get more than a scream out as you do a very just perfect cinematic grab under the bicep, and you just hear a snap pop like a and just falls to the ground like a sack of potatoes, just without too much of a sound. And if I could have everyone else that's not already in the turn order roll initiative here at this point, please. If you wouldn't mind.
So just me.
All right, and I think that is everybody. All right, so now that we're in it,
Ill. Oh, never mind. I got good. I don't know if I said ill.
this guy was taken by surprise. He didn't have time to get a net or anything. He's just gonna swing at Terra, who I believe has an AC of 16, with a spear attack. and is just... Tara just grabs it. Kind of just grabs the spear and holds it. And it's her turn! Bless you.
Bless you. I want to say that since she's got it in her hands now, could she just like butt him with the end of the spear as like a? I don't know. Can I use that?
Yeah, absolutely. That would be a D20 plus Dex plus proficiency.
Sure. Let me see what that is for her. Said D20 plus Dex plus proficiency.
Yep.
That's a 21.
All right, and that's going to be a roll 1d8 plus proficiency.
Ooh, max damage.
Ooh.
Famous, you just see Tara kind of, please, someone please message Isabitza and be like, yo, because I really want to make it in character. So just grabs the spear, lifts it back, rips it out of the guy's hands, kind of just does a little spin move and a flourish, and you just hear like a loud crack as she just spins it. It shatters and breaks on this guy's head as he falls to the ground twitching in the middle of the hallway. Isabitz would be proud. Anything else for Tara?
Just kind of peek her head in, see if there's anybody else behind where that guy would have been.
Oh, yeah, sorry. There is also, I have more to reveal to you. Abigail, where you are, there is another prisoner right there.
Right there?
Right in front of Abigail. Yep.
This person?
Oh, right here.
Oh, I am not seeing that person. I see darkness.
Oh. Yeah, Tara can kind of just hear and see someone from the far end of the room here. Also, there are two grates, which likely lead back down into the basement.
Huh.
But Tara can hear sort of strained breathing from the far side of the right wall here.
Okay.
Dynamic
she'd
lighting,
probably
roll 20,
go
everybody.
She'd go towards it, so that's 5, 10, 20, 25, 30. I'm assuming that is a grate.
Yes, yep. So these are the two sewer grates. And yeah, it's roll 20 dynamic lighting presentation, everybody. Yeah, applause from the audience. Yeah. I'll take a page out of Jacques the Whipper's book. Like if he ever drops the whip, he goes justice in the audience, so they applause. This is me with having no just the lighting. Lighting demo, everybody. Okay, so Tara, yep, kind of just speeds her way in here. And you can see another a gender neutral individual, somewhat feminine over here, just kind of like really almost emaciated. It's really sad, just kind of looking up, real thin, probably have been here for a while, kind of reach up and like out to Tara, just can't really say words. They look a lot worse for wear. The woman who's in the cell closest to Abigail looks a little more put together, but she's just covered in grime and dirt and bruises, and all so far have been drow.
I imagine that seeing this, she would then, your call, because she's gonna want to take out like any rations that she has, because I'm assuming that's what Tara would do, and hand it over. But I don't know if that would be a free action or a bonus action, because I have either one of those.
That would be a free action, and she can use a free action and the rest of her bonus actions to actually just help and share the water skin. Actually, I usually give everyone sort of a free interact. The door is locked. Abigail has the keys, so go ahead and just make an athletics or acrobatics check with Tara.
You said athletics or acrobatic?
Yeah, whatever one's higher for her. She's a monk, and they can usually go hand in hand there. You can brute strength or you can finesse. Acrobatics, all right.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That's athletics. Just kidding. Click the button. 14.
Tara just shoulders with sort of her partially stone form, just shoulders this cell door open with the DC 15 check. Their old rusted bars just kind of crashes it open and is able to get inside and use their free object interacts to slowly, I'd say it's probably base knowledge for all of you that for someone that is dying of thirst or starvation, you have to feed and give them water slowly, like little crumbs and little sips of water. So Tara would probably take the remainder of her turn to do that and help this prisoner. That's actually going to stabilize them. And I'll go ahead and... If Tara doesn't have DM Inspiration, you can check that off on her sheet. You got to do a DM Inspiration for her. And I'll say... What's it good? We'll put a little... It's her heart? Yeah. For stable. Let's just use green. They're stabilized now. All right, well done. And I believe that's it for Tara?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That would bring us to one of the guards down here who's just going to, like this, hey, and run up and is going to try and throw a net over at Clem. I'm actually going to put this guard on the map layer so I can do that. And that's going to be a net coming at you. Oh, so that's sorry, a d20 plus 3.
My AC is 14.
That's a hit.
Okay.
You now have a net over you. You are restrained by a weighted net. As this guy just kind of throws, you're not expecting it, throws a net on you, and that will require a, let me check, DC 10 strength check on your turn.
Oh no.
Yeah, and you are restrained by a weighted net.
No.
The important question, that did not do damage, did it?
No.
Clem is decidedly not concerned.
All right, and
What is this thing?
that would bring it to Junior, followed by another guard.
Does Junior hear what's going on with our bunny friend?
Yeah, I'd say Junior's got pretty keen senses, probably tapped into all the little movements and actions of what goes on around this level. Probably,
Okay, then
yeah.
he will wander over.
Okay.
He will wander this way.
Yeah.
Wander the wrong way.
Yep.
And attempt to get our bunny friend out of the net.
Okay. So Junior can attempt to either remove it with a DC 10 athletics check or rip apart the net with an attack roll.
He only has his fists, so not sure how much that's gonna help with the ropes.
To do that, he could just roll. So that would just be a strength roll from Junior,
Okay.
or Junior can roll DC or AC 10 to hit.
Oh, AC 10? Okay. He will try... Yeah, sure, let's try to hit the net.
Okay, all right. So, okay.
Oh,
And
vicious.
roll damage with those fungal fists there. Kind of just ripping it apart. Yeah, all right. So Junior kind of kind of shambles over and just kind of takes the form, and the hands are not perfect. They're like they reach into the net and they just kind of begin to break apart the net as this guard just, what the fuck? Sees this giant myconid just kind of shamble in and rip apart the nets. This guy is very concerned. Junior just rips it apart very quickly.
Oh,
Yeah,
saves me from doing it, I
you are
guess.
free. And is that it for Junior?
Junior will scooch back out of the way, just kind of gesture, like, here you go.
Seeing that, this guard's just gonna kind of like make his way over here and just kind of see Junior kind of rip off the net and just see a Harangon who's standing over a corpse squaring off with a very concerned guard, and is just gonna try and, in a panic, there's a whole rack of spears. He's just gonna throw one for an AC, for a 16 to hit against Clem.
I will. I only have so many spells.
That's right. Remember, with your designer card, conserve your resources.
What?
How close are we all together?
Thamus is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet away from Clem.
Excellent. If you don't mitigate the damage, I'm just gonna react and do something ridiculous.
I like ridiculous. I'm pretty sure I can just take the damage if need be, so I'll shoulder the hit.
Okay, all right. And Thamus, you were gonna do something?
I am going to react if I can find it again on my character sheet, because no, it's not that. It's something else. Channel Divinity. Immediately after an attacker within 30 feet deals damage with an attack against a creature that's not me, I can use my reaction to force the attacker to make a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
DC 14.
Passes. Roll the 14.
In which case, then it takes radiant damage equal to half the damage that Clem took.
Okay.
If he failed, it would have been the equal.
Full damage. Okay, so that's 6 piercing. So, all right. So you take 6 piercing damage as the spear kind of just grazes the side of your arm and sort of falls onto the stonework at your feet. And ow, that stings. That hurts a lot. But it's just kind of grazed you, just bleeding a little bit from your left arm. And you hear a roar from behind you with Thamus as sort of like this wave of radiant energy washes through the dungeon, kind of flashes in this guy's face. He takes 3 points of radiant damage from the rebuttal. That would bring us to Thamus.
Yeah, it's stealthy. We're done with stealth. And I am right next to a prisoner.
Mm-hmm.
And I am at the what's the gate cell entrance like here?
This one is most of them here are pretty old, pretty flimsy. You can try to rip it off with an athletics check, or you can ask for the keys from Abigail. And I'm gonna say the two of you can pass keys as free object interact if you want.
I have a good enough athletics where I can probably just break it, but I'll go and grab I'll do this the smart way, get the keys. My plan is to grab the keys, unlock, rest, basically get this prisoner stabilized, and then just basically be on guard to make sure everybody else stays okay.
Okay. So are you calling for the keys?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Abigail, Thamus calls for the keys. You can absolutely toss them over if you want.
No, they're my keys. Yes, I tossed them over.
Okay, all right. Abigail is able to toss you the keys. Thamus, you're able to grab them and unlock the cell. And just... As you can see, this individual kind of get to his knees, a little worse for wear as they kind of just stand and catch their bearings for the first time in a long time, and just... Daggers. Blades.
Can you get out of here?
I owe you my life. The least I can do is fight for you. You bear the mark of House Dhuurniv. Force of habit from the old one. You bear the mark of House Dhuurniv. The warden. He must keep the valley. He must keep our things somewhere. That's the end of his 6 seconds to be able to talk. So, Thamus, you can take the rest of your turn however you see fit.
Basically, he's stable. He's going to look for his belongings.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm gonna move forward past where we Terra killed the other guard.
Mm-hmm.
And basically go looking for literally every I'm just gonna go looking for prisoners. Looking for everything.
All right. So you know that Terra went right, so you can go left.
Yep. Yeah, good enough.
And as you do, you can see someone that you recognize from the caverns. Someone who was very likely captured in the initial assault, was recently placed here. Doesn't look too worse for wear. Bruise other than fresh contusions, still pretty swollen and bloodied, but just kind of stands up and just looks at you. Hopefully, you know that this is one of their battle mages. As she just kind of looks at you with a hopeful eye. I don't know how much movement you have to get over there, but...
Let's see, I started here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Movement speed is 35, so yep, we can get there.
Okay. Alright, and you have the keys as well, so if you want to use your bonus action, you can unlock that door with that bonus action.
Let's do it.
Okay. I just make sure that it's the same stat block as the rest of them. She lost. Oh. Okay, slightly different. It's good. 45, and she took 11. Put her at 34. And as you open the door, she just... What you can see as a grin through the contusions and the blood, and just sparks up a little bit of shadow flame magic in both hands, and just, now for wrath, now for vengeance. I'm gonna add her to the initiative because she is ready to go. She doesn't need her equipment. Elite warrior, done. Battle mage. Oh, there she is. She will come in on the next round. That would put her here. You might not need it. And Simeon, back down to Simeon. There are 2 guards here on the south that are persistent.
Well, I shall persist in making them go away. So
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and step through Clem
Okay.
to see what I'm seeing.
Awesome.
Is that new?
That's the perfect spot to get. That's the perfect spot to get frozen though, with the face palm.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I thought that was me. I was like, what happened?
And
Yeah,
so
I
did I.
I thought it was me too.
All right, now we're back. Okay.
Oh, okay. That was perfect with the face palm. It was like,
Sorry about that.
yeah, I don't know if you could do that again if you tried. It's perfect. That's okay. Go ahead.
So I'm assuming that the next guard is directly in front of Clem.
Yes, he's the one that took some radiant damage from the channel divinity.
He kind of knows I'm there, but I'm still going to push through him anyway.
Okay.
And now I get flanking bonus.
Yes, +2 to hit.
All right, I shall take a full attack against this fellow.
You got it. The one in between. Okay, yep, that makes sense.
but not with my light crossbow. Sorry, wrong button.
Oh, that's okay. I'll give you the 8 if the other one's lower. Oh, okay. Great. 18 to hit. That definitely hits. Roll damage. 11! Perfect. On your first hit, you just take the rapier and just right through the center you find just the perfect gap in the armor, and a little bit to the left, but right out the other side. Clem, you just see as kind of Simeon pushes through, knocks this guy off balance, does a perfect little flourish, does sort of a 19 black and white Hollywood era kind of flourish on the steps with a pose, and just a little in and out, very Errol Flynn, as kind of grasping the stomach wound. This guy just drops down dramatically, one knee and then the other, kind of collapses and rolls off to the side here, over the body of the other fallen Red Plume guard.
And then I'll turn around and do it again to the other guy.
I'll fucking do it again! Alright. Let's show me rapier. Yep. And damage.
Not nearly as much damage because I'm not as sneaky this time, but
Okay.
26 to hit, 6 damage.
Yep, just in and out of the shoulder. Almost drops the spear. Kind of just gasping in surprise. Call surprise. Clem. Bring it at the top of the turn order. As this guy is, I think, realizing now that it's a little bit hopeless.
Oh.
He
Did I
will.
not roll?
Oh,
No, that was my fault. I saw the
I'm
chat
sorry.
and thought, no, that's actually my fault. I saw the chat and saw that I rolled under Terra, and my brain was like, oh yeah, I rolled. I don't need to roll again.
That's okay, that's okay. What was your in it?
I just gonna unlock stuff, really. That's all I'm doing.
Okay, well,
Not doing anything interesting.
well, just in case, show me an initiative roll. Just in case it's like 20 or something. You can like run over and. Okay, all right, 12.14. Let's go back to. All right, so you would have had a full turn, so I'll let you go ahead and take that now as you wish. Yeah, whatever you'd like to do. You have your full movement and a full turn.
It literally would have just been unlocking her
Done.
her cell door, and then seeing that they have that handle down there, going to the chest that was passed up, and
Okay.
trying keys for that.
Okay, so the keys, we'll say kind of beforehand, you probably would have been able to unlock it right away, first thing. At least the prisoner here, who just almost collapses into your arms. That's when Thamus called for the keys. She took the keys, ran over, released the other prisoner, and then you would have seen that this is locked. You can try to pick it or force it open if you want without the keys. Or you can wait for Thamus to come back down and you can hand off the keys again. It's up to you.
You said I could pick it or force it open?
Yeah, you can try either or. It's like a padlock.
I'll try and pick it, because I'm a little better at that.
Okay, all right. Show me a thief's tools with dexterity, and yes, you are proficient. Or you should. I think you are proficient, right?
No, I am a sorcerer. They don't get anything.
Fair enough. Thieves tools plus dex, or sleight of hand. Whatever makes more sense.
Can I guidance myself or no?
How are you guidancing yourself? What are your words of wisdom to yourself, or what are you doing in the room to make things easier to pick this lock?
Trying to give myself a pep talk after rolling 2 nat 1s on stealth.
Okay, all right.
And trying to recover some of my coolness.
Fair enough, fair enough. Okay, so you're able to sort of brace yourself, take a deep breath. This prisoner is able, the door is open, and she actually kind of just begins to kind of climb down and just kind of lean up against one of the walls here on the far wall, just to get out of the cell. Keeping an eye on you as you make your way down. Show me a sleight of hand plus guidance as you give yourself a little pep talk.
And that is a dirty 20.
You're able to put together, I'm assuming you may have picked up something that can, maybe a lockpick or two. You don't have many. They're maybe old, maybe something you maybe picked up from a used vendor or something, but you're able to kind of put together a sort of makeshift lockpick, and based on watching some of the other party members, you're able to, on this old rudimentary lock, you remember the sort of the rotation, that there were 2 tools required, and you have to sort of manipulate and you can feel it kind of moving in, and as you're rotating, you hear it, and then a click, and the padlock just falls off, and you can unlock it. I'm assuming you'll go ahead and open that chest.
Yes.
All right, as you kind of fling it open, let's see, they're on initiative, I think. Yeah, let me go ahead and roll initiative for the guy here. I might have him over 9. Be right there. All right, and inside you can see a couple of short swords, some jewelry, some personal belongings mixed in, some rings, some fine clothing, mixed in with what appear to be 2 pretty intricate looking daggers of Drowish design, as well as sort of at the bottom underneath the clothing, what seems to be half plate armor that seems to be glittering with sort of starlight, and a shield at the base of this pretty large chest, as well as a longbow that also has intricate filigree that is glowing, and a short sword.
I will very quickly look up at the lady and say, is any of this yours? Just kind of gesture to the chest.
Neon lights with the 22. Oh my gosh. Hey friends, thank you. Oh, this is awesome. It's a great time to come in. Thank you, Neon Lights Roleplay. Hello friends. Hello. How was your stream? Sir Heckalot. Hey, it's Heck. Look at this. I even have a thing for Heck, because Heck's cool. Yeah. I'm gonna give a shout out to Neon Let's Roleplay. So, what were y'all doing over there on NLR? What was tonight? Happy Monday. Hopefully your game went well. Tell us about what y'all were doing. Last HP Hero, thank you for the follow. Waves, hello. Chrissy Crits, hi friends. Hello everyone. Welcome in, welcome in. Little shout out. All right, awesome. Heisting. Yeah, whoa. that is you. We are heisting a little bit. It's sort of like a Metal Gear Solid heist / more of like a infiltration ahead of like a heist. Heist is a good word for it. All right, lurking, stabby, heisting, infiltration, heisting a tower, a little bit of that. Except the idea is to not sort of grab and go. The idea is to release the prisoners, kill the fascists that are dwelling inside here, bashing the fash, and rendezvousing with the owners of the tower at the top, House Dhuurniv, because this is their tower. It was taken from them. So we are liberating it. Liberating that tower. There is also... That was the word. Yeah, there is also in here a pretty nasty looking lance that has been... it's sort of collapsible. And it sort of has been separated at the center of the handle. But you can see where it sort of connects together, and it has this pretty nasty looking glow about it, and sort of oozes sort of this necrotic magic as you open up the chest. It's one of the first thing that catches your eye. But this seems to be the personal belongings of everything in here. And as you kind of look up and ask the woman that you'd released, she just kind of looks over and just a family pendant. And just two rings. Do you have water?
I will kind of make my way back up to her and hand her my water skin.
She just kind of thank you, and just kind of starts drinking pretty quickly. She's not as worse for wear as some of the other ones, and she feels like she can probably handle chugging some of the water, which she does. Almost drains the water skin, and just starts to kind of, it was a little rough for her, but she just kind of hands it back to you and just thank you. So the pendant and the rings, it's very likely, given those context clues, that she is a civilian. She looks like she's been here a while.
Gotcha. I think that's all that I can really accomplish. I
Okay.
will just kind of hang out next to her.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Keeping tabs on the freed prisoner. And that would bring us back down to Clem. And there is one guard left on the prison level who is very unsure as to the unfolding situation. You kind of are getting the vibe that, like, I think he's kind of realizing he fucked up, right? Seal it fast and seal it quick. Yeah, free those prisoners quickly. Get the loot. Disperse it. Hydrate or die straight, by the way. Thank you, Jeff. Greetings, all of Vancouver by night. Hey. So, Clem, you can go ahead and take that turn, however you want to proceed.
Yeah. Clem will just stroll up quietly, staring this guard down, and he will pull out his maul and swing it down to cave in this guy's head.
All right. This guy has basically, he's quivering in his boots. Go ahead and roll that at advantage. Show me that roll, Advantage.
Wow. Okay, that's a
Okay.
double nat
crits.
20.
All right. Well, how do you want to do this? How would you like to dispatch this last guard? Send a message. And that's going to be it for initiative.
I'll just, yeah, as I'm walking up, I'm going to put the hand axes away
Double
and
crit.
slowly pull out the maul. I'll just give him a little bit of a nod, letting him know that, yeah, this is coming, and I will just tower over him and do kind of like an executioner's swing with my hammer and try to bring it down on him enough to kill him, but at the same time not clear it through the floor to make too much noise.
Okay, yeah, so that's fair. And with a mighty swing, executioner style, you bring them all onto this guy's head, and there's a loud, wet thud and crack, and it's just, wait! And this guard is no more. The level has been claimed with minimal damage. The prison level is yours, and there is a woman here who has this quivering rage in her eyes that stands up. You can see she is kind of bound behind her, and she just kind of turns, and you can see her hands now. They're bound by this material that has runes around it, and the runes are glowing, and it seems to be some sort of like magical dampener. And she just looks up at you with these knowing eyes, like, get me the fuck out of here. Unless we're gonna go ahead and take a break. So let's take 10 minutes or so. Go take care of yourselves. We only have about 35 minutes left of the session tonight anyway, but we'll go ahead and take 10. We'll, whatever y'all need, take care of yourselves. We'll be back here in a little bit. Thank you again. Neon, let's roleplay for the raid. Vancouver by night, hello again. Thank y'all, friends, for stopping by. We appreciate y'all as we attempt to liberate this tower and return it to its rightful owners. All right, we'll see you back here in a bit, everybody. Hang on, I gotta switch the actual panels, though. Whee! Okay. I can pause that. Ooh, seamless transition on my end for the music. Hey, everybody, welcome back. Almost, yeah. Okay, we're officially back now. Let me just turn this up a little bit. Okay. 41. We are out of initiative, and the level is yours. You have a prisoner locked in a cell that has some kind of bracers. Ready? I'm gonna go ahead and reveal the rest of the prisoners. Y'all can move about the map freely. Make sure your audio's good. Okay. All right. What do?
I'll take the keys and unlock everybody else.
Okay.
Yeah, I will just kind of come back down here and just kind of explore, see if there's anything else that is like either on the warden might be useful to us.
Okay. Everything of use seems to be the silver on the table, of which there are about maybe 227 silver pieces and 13 gold pieces. 227 silver and 13 gold pieces. Also, everything in here, if you allow her to do so, this woman will kind of make her way over, seeing you secure the level. She will, the first thing she'll do is go to her family pendant and grab that locket out of the drawer there. Not take anything else, and just and kind of clutch that. The rest start to make their way over, and the individual that had asked for daggers kind of saunters back down here. Got a little bit of a limp, but is able to kind of take a couple daggers and kind of bite through the pain a little bit.
Abigail will just also hand over some of the coinage.
Okay.
To the commoner specifically.
Okay. Fair enough. I was going to give you inspiration again, but you already have it.
It's okay.
She just kind of, thank you, and reaches back in. There's like 3 rings in there. She grabs 2 of them and just kind of looks at them and just looks very relieved. Excuse me. Sorry. Looks very relieved. And when you offer silver, she's just, you can see tears welling up in her eyes, and she just spontaneously starts crying and actually runs over to hug you.
Oh. She just kind of like pat.
You can see the individual here who kind of takes the blades, just kind of like kind of adjusts and tries to kind of walk off that limp. Takes the 2 blades, takes a deep breath, and they're very intricately carved. One of them is slightly curved, the other has a little bit of a glow to it. Just looks at them and just starts kind of twirling them in their hands, as you can see them kind of and they have like a leather belt in there, and also a mask that they have that they kind of put back over themselves, and some leather armor that's in there that they're able to kind of finesse put back on. It's damaged, there's some holes in it, but they start kind of fastening themselves back into this armor. And after a few minutes, just kind of runs over here and walks over to the warden and just actually grabs the warden and just very quickly, with one fell swoop, just kind of lops off one of the ears and just kind of grabs it, kind of looks back at you and just, an ear for an ear. And you can see kind of as he moves, sort of part of his left ear has been severed, and he just kind of rips it off the warden and then just kind of like kicks the body over so it kind of falls onto the ground haphazardly. And then kind of stashes that into his pouch and just kind of takes the daggers and just, Bhur'Ithilen, at your service.
How badly mangled is that ear, and would Damus be able to actually do anything about it?
It's healed. It's basically healed over. It's been a while.
Okay, so it's not new, it's not...
Right. Maybe a few months old, but...
And it looks like it actually healed clean, no infection or anything like that, not that kind of stuff?
There's some rough spots. It may have gotten infected at one point, but it's healed over. There's also some discoloration. Maybe it was sort of cauterized in one way, but he also, as he's kind of getting dressed, you can see that he's got like just burn and laceration marks all over his body, as he's kind of putting the leathers back on, likely from his time here, as well as the ear, but is able to kind of get fully suited up, puts the mask just kind of right at the lower part of his neck, gets it ready, and just, I'm an assassin for House Dhuurniv. My blades now stand at your service. At your pleasure.
Simeon looks to him and sort of bows lightly and says, "Why, we would gladly take your blades. The matrons need them more. We're taking back the tower tonight."
Direct me as you see fit. Where is your matron?
All three of them are at the top of the tower. We're going to meet them there.
Kind of looks a little confused. He says, "Where is your matron?"
Your matron?
Oh.
The House Dhuurniv is a matriarchy, and he was
Yeah.
captured probably like maybe a year ago, so doesn't know anything about the Stormwatch or anything else.
Oh.
We are
Mage from this.
we are working with insert the name of the matrons with House Dhuurniv to take back this tower.
Okay, so as Thamus, as you kind of make your way over, he gets down onto one knee. Or unless Abigail was in here first, in which case, after he put his things back on, the second you addressed him, Abigail, he would have gotten down on one knee as well.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
Very well. And as Thamus comes over, then he does it a second time.
If you won't take it, she will. Right, yes.
Yeah, it's like he has no idea who any of you are, or what the Stormwatch even is.
Right.
That's fair. And
Fair.
if he's from here, and if he's from this general area, then not everybody knows where we come from. Yes, we agreed. The war, kind of the TLDR version of kind of the history. The war's coming to a head. We agreed to help. We agreed to help the house take back the tower, and we will happily. Their blades will be more than welcome and stay with us until the time comes.
As you see
to
fit.
join the matrons.
And just kind of limps back over here, trying to kind of bite through the pain, and just, "I have already met." Just kind of looks at Simeon. "Your name, soldier?"
I'm Simeon.
Simeon just kind of puts two hands on either of your shoulders with a very serious look, kind of squares up with you, and just, "Bhur'Ithilen," kind of puts his forehead to yours.
Clem will approach to see if he will bow for Clem.
There's no such bow, but you can see just kind of like a if you're kind of getting the vibe. It's like a little sort of like a kind of headbutt thing, but like not like super hard, just like what he's about to do, Simeon.
Simeon will lean into it.
Yeah, okay. So you just see Simeon and Bhur'Ithilen just kind of do a little friendly headbutt and just, "Soldier." Kind of
I'll
taps you
turn
on
it
the shoulder.
into a three-way headbutt.
He says, "Another soldier." Kind of just does the same thing, just gives you a nod, puts two hands on your shoulder, and just gives you another, like one of that sort of sibling headbutts there.
Ames just kind of gives all of this the mom look.
Also kneels for terror, and Tara's like, "What is happening?"
Of all of the folks who we have rescued, does anyone have a voice that matches that which echoed in my ears as I came in the door?
Yeah, the woman down here in the cell with the special bangles on.
Who is
The,
still bound.
Shackles.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
we would-
No, I would have made my
open
way
the door.
down and
Okay,
I have
alright.
the keys. I would have taken them off. I just didn't know where they were.
There is also another feminine presenting warrior who kind of also makes her way through. Thanks you all for releasing her. And if you direct her to the equipment, she starts putting on that sort of star metal plate armor. She starts putting that on. But this woman here, you're able to undo the cell, and she kind of just makes her way along to sort of mingle with the rest of you, but her shackles are magical. The question is, how are you going to get those off?
Does the key are there keys? Do any of the keys do anything?
Okay, Abigail, you said you were also going to poke around in the warden's office, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Abigail, go ahead and make me an investigation check, please, as you were... I know you're kind of moving around, but for when you were in the warden's office, because he's got a whole desk here and everything that has some documents on it. It's granite stone, super fancy, and kind of bullshit. There's like a... Looks like it was brought here.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
You said investigation?
Investigation.
10.
Okay.
Holy average.
In your cursory glance, you don't necessarily find anything special about the desk, but I know you're kind of moving around and looking for other prisoners, but I can come back to that. Now, who asked specifically about the key to the shackles? Was that Thamus or Clem?
That was Thamus.
Okay, Thamus. As you kind of unlock the door to her cell, she just... and looks very happy, but also a little bit... Her eyes, there's this intensity to them. Like she's ready to get out and just be a loose cannon. And she just... The warden keeps everything in his office. Keys. I'm assuming the control rod for these damn shackles. Get me out of here.
All right.
Control rod, you say?
All right. In which case, will the warden, we've taken care of the warden.
Oh, I would have loved to have had the pleasure myself to see him squirm beneath my boot. Tell me he suffered.
That
Just kind of leans forward at the Clem. Tell me he suffered.
With style.
Good. Good.
now let's get the is she shackled? Is she shackled to the wall or shackled to? Is it
No.
just
They're
arms and they're bound.
just her hands. Yeah, just her hands.
Okay.
Tied, sort of shackled behind her, but she's able to
Okay.
with these. Yeah, but and there's like glowing runes on the shackles, and she just dampens the magic.
Then we'll take. She mentioned the warden's office had everything, so that's where we're going. I'm gonna escort her there.
Okay.
Because
All right.
He knows what she's looking for. I don't.
Well, she doesn't know exactly where it is, but Thamus and Clem, y'all can also, with fresh knowledge, also take a crack at the investigation checks in here as well. Abigail, I'm sorry for your dice rolls tonight on Roll20 and otherwise. I'm sorry they're not cooperating.
Clem, if you've got... I was gonna say, Clem, if
Hey.
you've got better than a +1, take it at advantage.
Oh, no, I have a -1.
Well, that is a...
But still in that 20.
Yeah. Thamus, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll just say take advantage and keep the 19.
That's fair. Thamus, I'm gonna say with the first roll of a 16, you kind of feel something below the desk. Like there's part of the granite that is a little off, and Thamus, you take a look and point out that there's actually sort of like a compartment that can be pushed up from the bottom. And Clem, you feel it as soon as she says that, and you're able to kind of lift it up and slide it over. And feeling around inside, you see just a small, maybe about the size of like an eyeliner pencil. Seems to be like a little sort of metallic rod that seems to vibrate with like the same way a tuning fork would.
I guess
Gonna
I
go
will
in
go
here.
and grab it.
Okay.
And I'm guessing that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, and as you do, she just, no, careful. Take it and just clang the back of these binds.
I will do my best to be careful and do as she says.
Okay.
And I will have healing ready for if something goes wrong.
Okay, all right. So Clem, you're able to just kind of take it and boom, and you can feel it kind of vibrate. And as soon as it does, the shackles open and fall to the ground, and the runes stop glowing. And she just, and she looks around and she says, she kind of sees the chest Mm. And she says, "The Deathlands." Kind of pushes her way through, and kind of goes down and starts rummaging through as the other soldier here is kind of putting her plate armor on that has this sort of glowy starlight to it. She seems to be an elite veteran of some kind, and that sort of that spear that had the that aura to it, that sort of necrotic aura that you found, Abigail. As you're all moving around, you can see her grab this and kind of put it together, and as soon as she does, she reaches in, and another one of the what looked like a ring actually is more like a headpiece, and she kind of puts it on the top, and you can see it looks a little bit more like it just kind of clips in, and it does have like a hollowed center like a ring, but it sort of clips into place, and it has like these little moonbeams that come off of it, and as soon as she kind of locks it in, it begins to, that necrotic energy begins to sort of intensify, and she just kind of clangs it on the stonework, and it begins to glow, and you can see her reverberate with that energy, and she just, yes, and looks over and says, "I am High Inquisitor Aerith. I was here when the first of us emerged from the Underdark and broke free of Loth, and formed our society anew. I am an Inquisitor of old, and have sworn my fealty to House Dhuurniv and its allies. I am assuming you are here to take back this tower and free it from the traitor."
That would be correct.
"Let's away then. Let us not tarry in this charnel house any longer." Because I've been waiting to quote Minthara on that for so long.
I was gonna
Yeah.
I won't say nothing if you don't.
Anyone that wants to can make a history check. This is some old school shit.
Simeon might know what's going on. Simeon doesn't know what's going on.
I definitely don't know what's going on. My dice have just been cold tonight.
Famous, maybe?
Famous, these, you know that there are some amongst House Dhuurniv specifically that still follow some of the tenets of the old ways. Not that they follow Loth, but they still retain some modicum of acknowledgement of the origination of the powers, and those that do are very rare amongst Aelistray or Seraldine. I dyslexic. I always mix the wording up. But or any of the other three Drowish houses that have sort of emerged and found and established houses on the surface in either the deep woods or amongst tundras, or in the forests, or in this case amongst the webwood and in Shadowdale. Sort of a blend of surface culture and mixed with that of moon worship of Aelistray, and also retaining some elements of their Lothian origins. An Inquisitor is exactly such a magic user, and it's probably very easy for the Red Plumes specifically to vilify her as a pariah, but they are dangerous and they dabble in some dark shit.
I mean, their preferred weapon is called a death lance, so it doesn't seem like they're friendly folk.
Maybe not, but they're on our side.
Yes.
Fair.
Sort of a champion of the old ways, as it were.
We know a few people back at Darkhold that are kind of like that, so yeah, I get you.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, Simeon is going to sort of reach out. Simeon is going to sort of, thank everyone who's interested in joining them on the way up, and is going to remind them that the stairs are trapped. So make haste, but do it carefully. We don't want you to be surprised by these red plumes. All the quicker to get this over with. And with that, he's going to head up the stairs.
Famous will wait for everyone to pass and bring up the rear. That just seems like the good idea.
Those
Okay.
Inquisitors happen to have a silence spell handy. It'd be really nice.
Silence doesn't travel, unfortunately. It's just in the little area you cast it.
Okay. By the way,
Doesn't it stick to stones anymore?
No, that's the darkness spell.
Take all the fun out of life.
I know. Silence is like one of my favorite spells, so I'm always looking for an excuse to use it.
as you are kind of taking stock of what you have, you have. Oh, I actually got to change that to Dhuurniv.
That's a sick looking blade.
Yeah. There is a House Dhuurniv assassin who is moving at half speed, but is still an assassin. And if moving slowly, moves very quietly. Two commoners who have reunited and are embracing down here. I'll put them kind of off to the side. Put them kind of down over here by Junior. An Inquisitor, a warrior, a veteran, and a battle mage. And they are yours to command as you see fit. Trust me when I say you will need them.
I will take control of the assassin then.
Okay.
We're not sending the civilians into battle, right?
No.
We're not gonna
Yeah.
need them, right,
You-
Essie?
Correct, but you could leave one of the fighters here to safeguard the civilians and help them get out safely.
I'm cool with that.
The warrior actually offers, and she says, I am battle sworn to protect what remains of House Dhuurniv. I am Gwenfrith, Lunar Warrior.
In that case, get them to safety.
She nods, just
The town will be overrun in the morning
as you say.
and is paranoid tonight. But if you can make it to the sewers in the and I basically give general directions back to where we came up. They can at least hide out down there.
I will see to it that they're protected. You have my word and my vow.
Might and
Famous-
Majesty, let's get this done.
Famous will give a nod and kind of a salute type thing gesture.
House Dhuurniv endures. Come, siblings. And they make their way into the lower levels. Okay, I'll put them on the GM layer. Alright, awesome. So yes, everybody gets everybody. If you don't have a DM inspiration, you can go ahead and refresh DM inspiration for saving the civilians. And sending a ward with them. You now have an assassin, a high inquisitor, and a battle mage. Inquisitor Aerith. House Dhuurniv, battle mage. I'm just gonna put battle mage for short. She would identify herself as Yarissa. So battle mage Yarissa. Assassin Bhur'Ithilen. Assassin Bhur'Ithilen and Inquisitor Aerith. Along with Junior. Of course, Terra. So, you have safeguarded the civilians, and Simeon is ready to proceed onwards and upwards. You have secured the valuables in the warden's office. Secured the... There are also the magical shackles. Are y'all leaving those there or taking them?
Ooh, take those.
Okay. All right, Abigail, you want to grab those?
Absolutely. We might run into some people that can cast, magic
Yeah.
stuff.
All
That'd be
right.
useful.
Vividly remembers that fight and did not like it.
Getting vibes of essentially. Did you see all of Critical Role Campaign 2?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what they are. The same thing that they put on Icky, yeah, Icky Thong. I can't say his name without that. That sent me the first time.
No,
I was
that
like,
is
yeah,
a thing.
yeah,
That's his name.
yep. So you have those very specific binders, and you also have the tuning rod that goes with them, the control rod that goes with them. It's like a little tuning fork, like a singular piece of metal, though. You also have whatever silver. Did you give all the silver to the civilians, or just like a
I
big
don't-
handful?
Probably like a chunk.
Okay, 27
I'd
silver.
say. Yeah, just to make it even.
Okay, all right. So 200 silver, 13 gold remain. There's also the everything in the chest was claimed, one way or another. There's a few there's a couple of short swords in there that were unclaimed, and also sort of an old rusted half plate. But other than that, everything else was claimed. There was nothing else of note on the warden. You found the control rod. There's some documents on prisoner logs that they have, as well as some sort of an inkwell and pot. If it's Baldur's Gate 3, you can take the inkwell and the quill pen and the pot if you want, but the prisoner intake manifest, right? But
No, you know what? I'm gonna take the prisoner list
yeah.
specifically so when we're done, we can make sure everyone got out.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so you are able to take the log, and it seems as if there are this log is pretty thick. There are everyone that should be alive, you have managed to get out, but it goes back years, and there's just notes about just deceased next to more than almost close to a couple of hundred names on this log, on this prisoner log, if not more. And there's some general notes about some other unsavory ways of disposing of some of the local populace that resisted. It's fairly unsettling. It makes you kind of feel an urge to vomit as the more you read. It's the sickening bile comes up the back of your neck.
I will make a mental note to tell the matrons what I saw, because they need to know what went on in this tower.
Mm-hmm.
And if every living person is accounted for, then we can move on.
Yep. Okay. All right. So, Simeon, are you taking point up the stairs? And are we doing a similar marching order as we proceed?
I do believe so.
Okay. So Simeon followed by Clem. Okay. All right. And you also have 3 NPCs. You can have them follow up the rear if you want to do Terra and Junior and Abigail again.
I feel like we should send the assassin up with Simeon and Clem. Just a
Yeah.
thought.
Just to back it up a little bit, but yeah, that works.
That was my thought as well.
Okay. Alrighty. And then Battle Mage and Inquisitor in front of or behind Thamus?
Famous was gonna go dead last,
Okay.
unless there's an objection.
How does that look for a marching order? All lined up like that?
Looks good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good
That's
with
good to
that.
me too.
Okay. Alright. So, can I get stealth checks from Simeon, Clem, and I'll just roll for the assassin real quick. We'll decide who. We'll have a couple of weeks to decide who wants to manage what NPCs after. But for now, let's get stealth checks from Simeon and Clem.
16.
All right. Let's see if
Nice.
19 in my clanky armor.
Nice. Oh yeah, that's gonna be.
You've
really
been
good.
rolling pretty well for disadvantage stealth.
And actually close out the civilian block here.
I just need to get a ring of quieting or whatever it is and give me
Mhm.
back my stupid clankiness.
Right. Where is?
Or just get lighter armor.
But then I'll be stabbyable.
Stabbyable.
Look, it's late. Words are hard.
Yes, but isn't your objective not to get hit?
Well, yeah, but that's also not worked so well. There was that one time that other assassin, knocked me flat the first round. I stood back up again. He knocked me back down again.
I remember. I think I spent multiple turns just
Yup.
getting you back up.
Potion, lay on hands again, another potion.
But hey, that's kind of what I designed this character to do. So there's that.
Yeah, no, it works out.
Okay. You emerge into an upper level with a long corridor that is otherwise silent. As you kind of stealthily approach, can I get perception checks from the first two up? So Simeon and Clem, as I'm assuming you're going to do the same thing, is just kind of take stock as to what you see around you. Ooh.
Yes, indeedly.
Oh no!
Wow.
Look, more double
A
crit.
lot of green tonight.
Wow. Okay. All right. And yeah, I'm working on getting everybody else up here, but it's just that thing with like the lack of space. So, all right. Simeon and Clem, to your right, there's storage. There are two storage containers here that have. One of them is partially open, and you can see just a collection of plain clothes, relatively uniform. Supply crates labeled with foodstuffs, some ale, grog, that kind of thing. And as you're both kind of honing in, you both hear like several incidences of snoring coming from various parts of this tower. Now, you know that as you kind of move forward, I'll say that it's a little bit further in. So y'all can go ahead and move maybe 2 or 3 squares forward. And I'm like, yep, that should be good. You see that as you kind of move forward, you both realize with your 2 nat 20s, this is most definitely a barracks. This is the barracks level. You look to your left, you look to your right. Many of the beds are hastily unmade and empty, and it's very likely that there is a squadron or platoon here that was told to go back to sleep, despite the alarm bells. And actually, here there are windows, and you can hear some of the panic and the chaos outside. And you can hear nervous conversation coming from the left around the corner, and frustrated pacing coming from the far side of the room. You can hear little bits of a conversation that just, this is madness. We should be out there, not stuck in here. Every single person should be out there fighting. Not sleeping. I don't give a fuck how tired they are. We are under attack. And you hear sort of another word of counsel. Just, my lord, the soldiers are no good to you if they are half dead from exhaustion. And then to the left, up here, a separate conversation just around the corner. Sort of a shaky voice, and just, do you think we have enough? And then you hear another soldier. We were reinforced, and we have reserves waiting on the horizon. They were able to spare some from Hills Far, but Commander Magarl had specifically stated that Hills Far must be defended and fortified at all cost. The position for a tactical retreat with the bulk of our forces is questionable between here and there, but I think we have enough. I've heard reports of winged creatures and a rather large one. Some say there's a dragon. The dragon is nonsense, and they're just basically going on this banter, but you can tell they're scared. So 2 conversations, 1 distant, but with your nat 20s, you're able to make out both of them. And otherwise snoring. This soldier here just kind of turns over and shifts towards the wall to face the wall. And I can bring up some more of the rest of y'all so you can kind of take a peek in here. We'll start filtering people in. Get rid of... Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Copy.
Judging by how quietly, or not quietly, as the case may be, Famous has been, do I think if we were to just sort of stand here quietly and let everybody else go up past us, that they wouldn't notice?
Yeah, for sure. You can clear them out, but they're from your 2 nat 20s, no insight check needed. It's very likely that, based on the context clues of my lord that you heard from a whisper, it's very likely one of the commanders that has a die in the power pool may likely be here on this level.
Well, in that case,
But
we're going to be very sneaky and go forward.
But this is also a barracks full of sleeping soldiers, and there's a lot of them. You could also avoid. It is 100% up to you. You can come in and start shooting. You can try taking them out one by one, but there are, kind of to your left, up here, 2 soldiers who are awake. We're having a conversation. You can hear them kind of passing some sort of a liquid around. Pouring liquid into glasses, whether it's coffee or alcohol or what. They probably are on watch, but probably don't expect something to be coming through the tower. And y'all were pretty stealthy.
Do I remember Abigail having a sleep spell?
Probably. Abigail, do you have sleep? Have you used it before?
I have suggestion. I do not have
Famous.
sleep.
Famous is the one with sleep.
There you
Famous
go.
is the one with sleep.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
yeah. All right. So my thought, Tactical Marshal here, drop sleep up top to knock them out, and then assassinate, and then go deal with our commander around the corner. That's my thought. That's my idea. I pass it back down the line.
As the rest
I
of
am-
you... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I am not opposed to that. I've probably tried to use sleep maybe once. I'm down for trying it, but please note if I fail a stealth check, that's probably game over.
Hmm.
Well, not game over per se, but that just kind of changes everything, and that means we go from assassinate to all guns blazing.
Yeah, no, I get you. So I think the first 4 of us should go hide out in that room right down below us, and then see if Thamus can't drop asleep up in the room right above us, and then we'll
Actually,
see how that goes.
Hold on. Let me check something.
Grab
Ooh.
Thamus.
All right, what is the 2 that are awake? How far are they from where Thamus would be able to see them?
Okay, let me go ahead and put
Because I'm
everybody on
gonna
the map.
assume I need to be able to see them.
I'll put you over here, just in front of where they are. Okay.
Because the range on sleep is 90 feet. 90 feet.
I don't think
There-
you have to see them. It just has to be in the
Oh.
AoE. It's a 20-foot radius within
Oh.
90 feet of the caster.
Also,
That's
I think with your 2 nat 20s, you can probably pretty easily, as you're coming up the steps, if you kind of head over to the wall and with your 2 nat 20s, you can probably very easily direct Thamus to cast sleep through the wall on the just on the other side of the wall if you want to try that.
Yeah, I think that's what we're
Alright.
going to aim
Do
for.
you
Yeah.
do you want to have the assassin at the ready?
Yes, and
Okay.
I too will join at the ready.
All right, so the assassin will kind of move up here a little bit. As you filter in, that's about the extent of previous stealth checks. So I'm going to say, and Thamus, go ahead and show me sleep. You probably want to maybe upcast it if you can, just in case.
I can definitely burn a second level spell slot. And sleep.
78. Let's see the dice.
78. Roll it.
Oh. No. Oh, you stupid.
It's got a box in there you can click.
Yeah, the pink box.
Oh, that's a lot.
Nice.
That's
That
a
is
lot.
max
Wow.
damage.
Okay.
And
Heavy.
damage.
All right.
Yup.
28.
28 plus
3.
5, so yeah, 33.
All right. So that is 15. You hear one thud, and then you hear, "What? Hey!" And starts to get a little woozy. And could I get just a fresh round of stealth checks from Clem, Simeon, and the assassin? 8, 10.
All right. That's a 20 on my disadvantage.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. And 27. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and add that now. It should be.
And we lost Clem.
Clem went to go get caffeine.
All right. Let's see if we can do that with just the two of y'all. All right. Simeon, as you kind of come around, you can see kind of stumbling forward, almost kind of bouncing into the wall is an archer who seems kind of trying to fight off sleep. The assassin is right behind you. You have a surprise round. So whatever.
Sorry, I need to push the button so I can talk.
That's okay.
I'm going to charge in and try and take out the archer, and then have the assassin back me up.
You got it. Show me an attack at advantage. Might not be needed. 21.
21.
Roll damage with sneak attack. Surprise round as you kind of just run forward.
13.
That'll do it. How do you put this one down, and how do you do it quietly? Because that's more than enough.
Basically, Simon's going to come around with the rapier out, and it's just sort of, stop thrust right through. And basically, as if he can make it with, granted with a 21 probably does, basically through the throat, so as to not be able to let any noise.
Okay, and you and the assassin honestly tries to guide the body with you and looks directly at you. Kind of have a bond, right? Like you were hitting off pretty well before, and just kind of gestures over to the seat over here.
Yeah. So Simeon will sort of walk it off the end of the blade,
Easy,
and try and drop him in the back corner.
A little slower, but delicately, you're able to just kind of because the other voices knew that there were a couple of people walking around, and you just, as you kind of spin around, you just he kind of just holds onto the wall. There's nothing really for him to knock over, but it's just one blade right through. And rather than assassinate, the assassin Bhur'Ithilen just kind of helps you position this guy perfectly into the seat here, which was the path of least resistance. So rather than put an X, I'll just put a secondary skull. Yeah, we'll do this one. All right, and it's seated perfectly. Yeah. All right, the rest of y'all can filter in, and without even being asked, the assassin just starts opening throats.
Oh yeah, no, Simeon's in the same boat too.
Okay. All right, the rest of you can filter in, and as you kind of get the jump, the assassin just kind of just to make sure, and just you can see him kind of hand over the mouth, just spins the blade, and is just going to move on to the next. That is, and as you filter in, that's where we're going to go ahead and end the session for the evening tonight. So, woo!
What
All
a
right.
note to end
Yeah. Oh boy. All right. I'll actually start. Yeah, we'll do these. Yeah, the little skulls will make it seem like perfect. All right. So let's go in reverse order this time. Jeff / Fathagan. Hi. What you got going on in between now and 2 weeks?
Not a whole lot going on for me. You can find me over on Mastodon these days, since Twitter has devolved into a mess. I have abandoned it behind, and but I don't do a whole lot there either. The biggest place you're going to be able to catch me is in the Discord with the rest of these weird, strange people, and that's pretty much what I do up these days.
Awesome. All right, links in the chat. Discord is in the chat. Thank you, Jeff. And we have D. D, what you got going on?
You know, not a whole lot of exciting things. Just kind of trying to wind out the year. Just relaxing, coasting on through.
I hear that in a big way. All right, and make sure I got your link tree. I do, and we got Nick /Husky /Amberthist. Hi.
/Clematis Scamperpaw, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than doing this stuff, on Precarious's Twitch this Friday should be the finale of our Alien RPG miniseries that we did, and then I believe the week after, or sometime this month, we're going to be starting up our second season of Mr. Picani. Picking back up with that stuff, and that's on Fridays. So this Friday is the finale for Aliens. Otherwise, yeah, just chilling here every other Monday, and all sorts of other TTRPGs on other nights, because I have a lot.
You do. And there's lots of cool stuff going on with Amberthist, so go ahead and check them out in the chat. You can see him doing all kinds of cool stuff. So thank you, Nick. I appreciate you. And then we have, of course, Lady Angela Rose at Ange. What you got going on over there, Ange?
Pretty much same old. If I'm not here, Sunday nights anime podcast. Check out Animazing Radio, where I'm a co-host, and me and my friends, we talk about anime. Other than that, I'll be at PAX Unplugged working as an enforcer, and that brings us to the end of the year.
Yeah, it does. Thank you, Ange. And yeah, all the links are there. And tomorrow, catch us back here for Margreave. That's all I got. Margreave tomorrow night, Challenge of the Fang, Part 2. It's a classic retelling of the Woodsman and Red Riding Hood, that old trope, but leading into more of like the grim fairy tale stuff. So we started that on Samhain /Halloween, which I hope was wonderful for everyone. And we all got to dress up in costume, which was awesome. It was a lot of fun. And we'll see you back here tomorrow for more of the chaotic shenanigans of our himbos, thembos, and lady himbos lost in the woods amidst a grander scheme of things that they are swept up in for this grim retelling of Red Riding Hood in the middle of a bunch of old, very woodsy tales. So catch us back here tomorrow right around the same time, 9:30. Red Riding had a fancy hut. And we'll see you then. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and raid our friends over at the Game Fox TV. Playing a little Pokemon Scarlet. And they're also a good time. The Game Fox are super cool people over there. Go and send some love. The Game Fox TV. Make sure I got that right. And yes. Let's see if we can get all 10. All 10. Let's go. 9. Okay, it's 9. Unfortunate, but 9's good. All right, everybody, be queer, do crime, use your privilege if you have it to help others, and as our friends at Neon Lights Roleplay said, who rated us before, they're awesome. Please go send some love to Neon Lights Roleplay with their permission, quoting our friend Foxy over there. Big A, be dangerous. And yeah, be safe out there, y'all, and watch each other's back. And we'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.